Good morning.
We said it together.
Yes. Problem is when we speak over each other, it doesn't come into the recording. Sorry, guys. I said, good morning.
Good morning.
We're on lesson 194, and this one's entitled, I Place the Future in the Hands of God. And I'll be reading this one. Thanks again for being here, everyone.
Can we open this up first before we...
Oh, sure.
The substance of this? I'm reminded here that right now, in this moment, I am as God created me. You are as God created you. Yeah. In every now moment, I remain as God created me. Yes. You remain as God created you, right? Mm-hmm. Wholly innocent and wholly invulnerable.
Right.
Right. The presence of fear, concern, problem solving, whatever it might be, is my chosen defense against accepting my true identity in this moment. That's as right. God created me.
Yes.
Okay.
Part of my mind knows that I am as God created me, and part of me is choosing a story or an illusory problem or something that I've called to my awareness, and I'm latched onto that so that I'm not in a place of deep acceptance of that I am as God created me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thanks. And I think we'll go more deeply as we read this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that as long as we're planning for the future or lamenting the past and trying to defend ourselves so that we don't repeat the past, or thinking that we were unfairly treated, that we will never have that holy instant. That's the way that we're never right here in the vertical where God, the memory of God, can be accessed. It's the holy instant, which is now. So if we're off in this timeline, we cannot access it. All right. Another one of the defenses. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation and a giant stride it is indeed. Ooh. So great the distance is that it encompasses, it sets you down just short of heaven, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace where you await in certainty the final step of God. How far are we progressing now from earth? How close are we approaching to our goal? How short the journey still to be pursued? Accept today's idea, and you have passed all anxiety, all pits of hell, all blackness of depression, thoughts of sin, and devastation brought about by guilt. Accept today's idea, and you have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that locked the door to freedom on it. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world because you have received. In no one instant is depression felt or pain experienced or loss perceived. In no one instant, sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshiped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die. And so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness, pain, and even death itself.
Can we stop there, sis?
Yeah.
He says what you've just read then is, in no one instant is depression felt or pain experienced or loss perceived. In no one instant, sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshipped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die. Okay, so what I want to do here is, if you can help me, that in every instant that we are present in the peace of God, we become completely invulnerable to all the ego's threats. In every instant, you know, that's a requirement. We can't really know the peace of God and accept it unless we first accept there is no sin in ourselves, in anyone else, anywhere. There never has been, never could be. So we accept our own sinlessness, and in that we can reach the felt experience of the infinite protection that gives us, because that's our innocence. We're resting in that peace. We need that for the peace of God. We need to remember that for the peace of God, right? So in every single instant that we are present in that peace, God is. I am.
Yeah.
And if we really were in that presence, the presence of that fearlessness in that instant, there's no way we could feel physical pain. There's no way we could feel conflict, loss, and there's no way we could even die. In that moment, that's God is there. We are his. He is ours. As we breathe, he breathes through us. We see only the light that's in our own minds. We feel only the love that's in our own mind.
It reminds me of the the switch around, you know, the mythical me. We believe that we've come out from God and we can face God, and we're a perceiver, and we can experience things and have a comment on things because we're judging things, right? We're having this other experience. And when we surrender and forgive ourselves for this idea of separation and time and perception and an I know mind, when we're willing to be completely still and empty out of a separate self, what happens is that we turn around and we take our place back in our oneness as the expression of the I am. So from perception back into one with the I know mind. And so knowledge is knowing. Love, Christ vision is looking. The mind of God is governing. So there's no fear in that mind. It's light in that mind. There's no darkness at all. That's our incorruptible innocence. We become invincible. We are, you know, you can't experience the fruit of fear because there is no fear in the mind. And that's all that, you know, pain and loss and depression and disease and death are. It's fear and guilt in a mind making it sick. It's so the precursor to taking your rightful place back into the arms of God and being, you know, God being all there is to us is this right here, right now, in this holy instant, no mythical me, and allowing what we are in truth to rise in our awareness and just govern everything. You know, we're only under the laws of God in that holy instant. So there is no death, there is no darkness, there is no opposition or contradiction. There's no duality. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you feel the peace in that?
Yeah. Well, I've experienced it before. And then you go, why did I, you know, then you flip out back into the story of the mythical me. And then you come back and you have this experience and like, oh my gosh, you know, and then your senses pull you back into this. Yeah, that's the dance for a while until it's not. So yes, deep, deep peace, a total sense of safety. going with the flow.
security, endless security,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Endless security and safety, because he already knows our needs,
Mhm.
even here in the dream.
That's right.
Holy Spirit knows everything that we
Mhm.
will need here in the dream. And all of that has been taken care of. There's nothing to take care of in the future because the future doesn't exist.
That's it.
We only ever exist in reality, in every now moment that we're present in the peace of God. If we're not here in this now moment in the peace of God,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Nobody's home.
Nothing's going on. Yeah.
Nobody's home. I mean, it's huge, right? So that's why we can afford to give wholly our future to
Mhm.
God. Give it to him wholly, the future. And because thinking about the future is a way to distract myself from really accepting and feeling my present innocence, which is my present fearlessness.
Mhm.
Wherever I enter into that fearless presence,
Mhm.
love is. I am in that moment. Yeah.
And I also saw that you can't be reduced and you can't age in that place. Like the body cannot age when you are just allowing that body to be the means here in a dream, but it's God at the helm, the mind of God, Christ consciousness. There is nothing that can suffer or lack or diminish or decay or be deprived. You are the imaging forth of wholeness. Yeah.
Mhm.
So miracles just flow like they should be normally.
Yeah. And as Jesus says in chapter 19, the obstacles to peace, the first one is the desire to get rid of this.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
And of course, what comes next is our attachment to the body.
Mm-hmm.
That bolsters that desire to get rid of this peace, which is the innocence we are.
Thank you. That's really big.
Thanks, sis.
Mm. Okay, paragraph 4. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more, and the future dread will now be meaningless. Release the future, for the past is gone, and what is present, freed from its bequest of grief and misery, of pain and loss, becomes the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Then is each instant which was slave to time transformed into a holy instant, when the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. Now is he free, and all his glory shines upon a world made free with him to share his holiness.
Mm. So, sis, once you've had a sip of water, water,
Water.
yeah, something just came to me then, which is that, yes, I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Which is that while we keep ourselves heavily distracted with planning for the future, defending ourselves against things to come or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're equally heavily defended against miracles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's huge.
Yes.
Those times that I have truly let the future go, every moment, let it go, and practiced it fully, are the times where I've experienced the most miracles because I've been present.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the miracle's going on all the time. But if we're distracted
Right.
by, you know, thoughts of the future, etc., or concerns, we're not present to witness and accept the miracle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels like it's asking us to come up and out of this whole realm of time and just to come above it and be here now, accessible to and by God or the Holy Spirit. Just that's it. To be, it sounds, you know, like a song, but be here now, just in this present moment without adding anything to it. Thoughts of the past or worries about the future or fear in the present moment. Just we're dropping all of it. And just in that state of surrender. And that's when, yeah, you can really feel like nothing real can happen while we're still lamenting time, which is fear.
Yeah, one thing, thanks, sis, one thing that really helped me greatly in getting this, a practical thing that happened, and especially probably 2.5 or so years ago, I had the experience where I was asked by Jesus to imagine that I was already awake, to imagine that all seeming problems the ego had made had already been solved, to imagine the joy, the happiness, and the soul union that I was experiencing with my brothers and sisters, to imagine that all of God's gifts had been laid at my feet, to imagine that there was no possible way that I could ever be threatened by any illusion ever again, right? And to sit in that and to rest in that, and then to rest knowing that the Holy Spirit has given all of this to me. It's not something to come in the future. It's all here now. And to rest in receiving it. And then came the knowledge that I was receiving God's will for me. And that seeming gap that existed before was completely closed in that moment.
Thank you.
Because in that little exercise, I didn't know it at the time, but everything that the ego was using to separate me from the present holy instant and receiving the gifts that he wanted me to have, right? In that moment, that was all of that resistance was gone.
Wow.
And I was able to receive his will. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I can feel that. Paragraph 6. If you could see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be a part of you. As it becomes a thought that rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What can he suffer? What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? What can he fear? And what can he regard except with love? For he who has escaped all fear of future pain has found his way to present peace and certainty of care the world can never threaten. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. He is free to choose again when he has been deceived, to change his mind when he has made mistakes.
That's it. Just simply choose again, right?
Place then your future in the hands of God, for thus you call the memory of him to come again, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his and offers peace to both. Now are we saved indeed, for in God's hands we rest untroubled, sure that only good can come to us. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it will be soon replaced by love's reflection. And if we are tempted to attack, we will appeal to him who guards our rest to make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and this is our healing and the healing of the world and the sonship. Oh, sis, you had a couple blogs that you wanted to make available.
Sure. I think these two blogs go hand in hand with this lesson. I place the future. I place, what is it? My future or the future? Place the future in the hands of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all things are lessons God would have me learn. That one as well, right?
Yeah.
Place the future in the hands of God. The first one is the End of Fear guided meditation. That one. And the second one is an excerpt from the End of Death trilogy, and it's titled The Distinction Between the Present Moment and the Holy Instant.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one.
Yeah. That really bolsters. One's still along a timeline and one is beyond it, not subject to time's laws.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's perfect. You guys will love that. Yeah. And if you haven't already been listening to the End of Fear guided meditation, that's something to have on your desktop or brought to some easily accessible link on a smartphone at night to listen to it too when ego tries to start gnawing on your ear. That's really powerful. So please grab that and utilize it. Thank you for that, sis.
Thank you.
Okay, lesson 194. I place the future in the hands of God. We're doing that, all of us, today and from now on, consistently.
I'm going to cook for dinner tonight.
Oh, sis. Yeah.
Should I plan a grocery list now?
What am I doing 15 minutes from now? I don't know. Oh,
Move into there, right?
yeah.
This stay present to this moment gives us
Yeah.
all protection, all security, all safety. All our needs are met. Stay here now. That's it. Be here now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sis.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
thank you,
family.
family. Thank you.
We'll see you later. Thank you. See you tomorrow.